Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about slipcovers. Why do I obsess over them? Yes, slipcovers! They come with movies, but they're starting to not come with movies as well. They are the bane of some collectors' lives, and some collectors will spend money on them. Some slipcovers are worth a hell of a lot of money and are very rare, and some slipcovers, well, you try and look after them and they just get beaten up. Slipcovers are a weird thing in the collector space, and you can see behind me, I have a few slipcovers, I have a few that don't have slipcovers. And it dawned on me recently that I'm starting to not buy a movie unless it has a slipcover. I find, and even when you say that out loud, I'm starting to find that bizarre, because why do we collect is what it comes back to for me. Do we collect to have this visual on the shelf, this visual thing? Or do we collect to, enjoy and experience the films that we buy? Did I buy Hacksaw Ridge just because I wanted the slipcover and for it to sit on my shelf? Or did I buy Hacksaw Ridge because of the movie itself and I like the film? And that's a hard one to answer, to be honest, because some collectors, they will buy for just the films. They just want the film. Some collectors will put movies in like a zip pocket thing, like they actually just put the discs in there because they just want the disc, and they'll sell the cases. You often see like, oh, I'm selling just the Blu-ray disc of this, or and the case, or I'm selling just the 4K discs, I'm keeping the Blu-rays, and stuff like that. So yeah, why do we obsess though over having slipcovers? Why are slipcovers, seen as the be all and end all? And I think it comes down to the completionness of, you kind of, if I go into the shop and buy Home Alone and there's a copy of Home Alone there with a slipcover, this is a complete version of the film, of course. It's got the slipcover, it's, in great condition. Whereas if it was just on the shelf like this, that is not a complete version of Home Alone, of course. It's just on the shelf. So if you had the two options next to each other, chances are you're going to pick that more complete version. And I think that's what it comes down to. It's like almost like a feeling of missing out, missing out on getting the complete version of the film. It's like having a film where it might come with a poster for the first 2 months, and after 2 months, the poster's gone. You do feel that little bit of like, oh, I should have just got that edition, that initial first day one edition or whatever. But these slipcovers are turning into a big old thing. Some studios, they just don't release slipcovers in general. So I bought Conclave recently. They didn't come with a slip. This is just how it came, just the movie. And this is what sparked this whole thing, because it didn't bother me that it didn't come with a slip. But because the movie never came with a slip, then I'm okay with that. But if the film came with a slip, why do I want to go out and source, slips? So going out and sourcing slips is another thing altogether. You've got companies out there now like Inky Prints on eBay, and they have a website and stuff. They basically create slipcovers for movies that Ink created, which is mad. And I've done that once. And I created a slipcover for Spider-Man No Way Home. It's not the best. It's just literally a design, as you can see. It's just not the greatest. And also, it's basically paper. But it does the job. It aligns my Marvel collection all in one. And I'm happy with it in terms of how it looks on the shelf. And I also have a box full here of slipcovers that I have bought over the years. I just bought a massive box of them. Why do I do this? Why do I buy slipcovers? I've got a ton. Why do I buy slipcovers just in case? So for instance, Apocalypse Now, I've got the slipcover, I don't have the movie. But if I ever see this in CEX at a really cheap price, or I buy this on Amazon on a 2 for 30 or whatever it was, I've got this. Then I've got like the Green Mile, which I already have, but I've got that there. I've got some other custom ones here, this one, as well as Guardians one. And it just made me think, why do I collect movies? I personally collect movies for the movie, for the disc, for the good quality, to be able to pick it up off the shelf whenever I want and watch the film. So I'm really contemplating potentially getting rid of all my slips. I really am. I'm potentially, thinking of considering selling them, completely going slipless, because then it takes the anxiety away of, oh, I'm not going to buy this film online because I can't, because it might come with a slip, might not. I won't be so obliged to have to finish collections, in terms of, like Blade Runner there. I've got Blade Runner 2049. I wanted to buy the original Blade Runner movie for $9.99 when it was on the £10 deal, but it didn't have a slipcover, so I never bought it. And I just decided to stick with, I'll try and source it privately. So I'd rather buy a movie. I'm at the point now where I'd rather buy a movie for second hand for the same price or more, just because it has a slipcover that might be really tatty, just because it'll look good on the shelf. So I'll end up spending more than I would have if I just bought it brand new. and of course then have a used copy of a film. So slipcovers are a weird thing, in my opinion. They're a really weird thing. They create this really weird obsession, I think, around them. I think I'm at the point with slipcovers really where I think studios have started to remove slipcovers. They're doing it like really studio by studio, you know, Sony being one of the big ones that of course has stopped. And I really do think that physical media is not making companies money, really. You know, collector's editions are, I imagine, but realistically, I don't think the Blu-ray versions are. And I honestly can see in the future there not being any slipcovers, because the cost that it takes to print, you know, all of these slipcovers, you know, they're quite detailed. Some of them like have foil on them. Some of them, like the Home Alone one there, like was, you know, had like, you know, a bit of like spot gloss, as you can see. Like, they are quite expensive to make. And if you're doing like a couple of million of them, if hundreds of thousands or million, however many they sell, you know, they are losing money, because that slip, this costs money to produce. If you can, you know, how can we eliminate costs on our Blu-rays and all of that without obviously sacking people? We just sell Home Alone without the slip. We literally, if this costs us 50 pence to make, we save 50 pence off every movie, and we can still sell this the same price. So I honestly think slipcovers are going to be gone. They're going to be gone, because I think studios are going to want to cut costs. They're going to realize that they cost a lot of money, and I just think they're going to be gone. We've already started to see it, as I say, and I think it's just a matter of time before another big studio decides to follow suit. So that is my thing on slipcovers. I've recently, you know, I've bought slipcovers recently on their own, and it's just got to the point now where I'm a bit like, why? And I really don't want to miss out on films that I see in like CEX, or even in, like I say, in HMV or on Vintage, just because it doesn't have a slipcover. I really think I've started to be a little bit more just about getting the movie. Previously I had the Kingsman. I had the Kingsman Golden Circle. They're both for slips, obviously. But I picked up the first movie without a slip. So I've started to change that in terms of getting films and not missing out. I don't think this came with a slip anyways, but, you know, I'm not going to get this a slip made up for this just because there are lines on this shelf. If anything, I could probably sell those 2 slips to somebody that wants slipcovers and make some money back on this entire collection. And I have all 3 of the movies that I have anyways if they're on the shelf. So I'm at a real point with slipcovers and debating what to do next. And I really want to know your thoughts. I know there's definitely fans out there that love slipcovers, of course, but there's also people out there that don't. And I would really love to know your thoughts on your slipcover journey. Do you have slipcovers? Do you get a slipcover in and just sell it every time on eBay, Vinted, wherever you sell it? Yeah, I'm really interested to know your thoughts on this, because it's part of my journey. I'm debating doing the same. But there we go, slipcover madness. It is a crazy thing in the world of collecting. If you are new here and you want to subscribe to the channel, there's a QR code there on the screen. If you're watching me on your big telly, take out your phone, scan the QR code, and you can subscribe there and then. It's very, very simple. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and of course I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.